Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me again here. It's Alex with Rowan Health and Wellness. Today, I want to focus on decluttering, getting that stuff out of the way that's keeping you from reaching your goals. So, you want to make room in your life for new opportunities and for health. Whether it's clutter externally in our environments, if it's internally, it's junk that pretty much is getting in the way from us getting what we want. Take a minute. I'm going to go through this and then pause the video for a minute. Take a look around. Think about your goals and where there's clutter in the way in your life. So you can start by looking at your calendar. Are you so jam-packed from like morning to night with things that don't bring you joy? If it's not bringing you joy, if it's not helping your health, if it's not helping you meet your goals, then it might be time to start kind of learning how to say no and dialing back from all of those obligations if it's not helping you and helping those you love. So the next is your wallet. If meeting your goal, part of it involves you having to come over a little bit of a financial barrier, looking at your wallet, if you respect your money, you'd be surprised how quickly, when your attitude towards your money changes, how quickly the universe will turn that around a bit. So looking through your wallet even is a good start. Do you have a bunch of old receipts that are just hanging around in there that are like 3 years old? I'm a Seinfeld fan, so if you know what like George Costanza's wallet looks like, if you have one of those, it's time to thin that. Do you have gift cards that are like 2 years old in your wallet that are just kind of kicking around? Respect your money. Take a look. Where are you spending your money? And we'll talk about a great tool that I use a little later in that, kind of to line that up a bit for you. Your closet. You have clothes that have been in there for 3 years with the hopes that one day you'll fit back into those again. And are those bringing you any kind of joy, or are those helping you reach your goal? Sometimes it's best to kind of take a look and is it packed with all kinds of clothing that you're not wearing? And then you kind of go, I have nothing to wear. And that plays on your psyche a little bit. So is it time to purge your closet a little bit and give it away to friends, family, or donate it? Junk drawers. We all have that junk drawer somewhere in our house where we throw things in, tuck it in, and forget about it. There might be some hidden gems in there still, but having so many of those throughout your house, it really starts to kind of play on your psyche. So it's best to kind of look at what are the things that are just kind of building up in my life. Your car, where you're driving every day. I spend a lot of time in my car going from point A to point B. And are there things in there that's impacting that you see every day? Like, do you have any wrappers? And then when you're in there driving, going, I can still smell McDonald's from the other day. I want McDonald's now. So if eating healthier is part of your journey, and you're constantly surrounding yourself still with the wrappers in your car, time to get them out. So here's a big one: your fridge, your cupboards, and your pantries. What have you got sitting on your shelves? If you've got all kinds of processed foods, the quick fixes, those cookies, the chips, all the rest of that stuff, if the first thing you see when you open your cupboards is all of this quick fix stuff, it's going to be so much easier to reach for those than to reach for something that's quality, that's going to make you healthier. So getting rid of those, all of a sudden now you've got all of this room not only to remove temptation, but also to put good stuff in there. All of a sudden now, hey, I can get, that bushel of apples and it'll sit on my cupboard. Or I got rid of all those cereals, so now I can put some good greens in there. So looking at, taking away the old so you can put in the new. And then we get to relationships and emotions, and attitudes should really be on that one as well, both towards yourself and towards your goals. That's why I like to start every email with looking at what you're grateful for, the attitude of gratitude. What are you grateful for every day? And replacing some of those negative attitudes that we kind of tend to have as human beings sometimes, and trying to replace them with good attitudes or habits. If you come home and spend 3 hours watching TV every night, how are you in any way, working towards your goal or working on you if you're spending 3 hours watching TV? And don't get me wrong, I got my favorite shows too. But, how are you working on you by coming home and sitting in front of the TV? So now that's, again, your time and your emotions. Do you need to check yourself a little bit and, watch just that one TV? Now you've got 2 hours to work on your goals, whatever they may be. So decluttering your time, decluttering your space and some relationships. There are negative people out there, and they will impact you and your ability to reach your goals significantly. And it might be that what's keeping you from really achieving those goals sometimes are those people who they love us dearly, but sometimes they're sabotaging us in our goals. And it's hard, but sometimes we need to take a good look at, whether those people are really helping our lives or in any way actually drawing us back and keeping us from those goals. And which of these are within your control? Not all of us, I'd love to say, hey, I don't want to go to work today because it's, taking from my goals. But there are things that we can control, and then there are those things that, like, hey, I still need to go to work because I have bills to pay. So what can we control, and start slowly working away with that? Okay, great. So the universe fills voids. You'd be surprised, when was the last time maybe you let go of a relationship and then found that, when you were getting ready, you found someone that was wonderful and met everything you needed. And because now your attitudes had changed, you had gotten rid of a person who was filling a void, and now someone new has come in. And you're really surprised how that works both in your internal and your external environments as well. So talking about those habits, getting into a good routine of, instead of sleeping in till 8 a.m., getting up, going to bed a little earlier, which might mean taking that extra hour of TV off, going to bed a little earlier, getting up maybe at 7 to do a workout, and then you start your day at 8 o'clock, which was the time otherwise. And now, because you've taken one or two things out of your life, now you have room to start filling it with those good habits. Looking at the physical stuff, can you sell it and make a little extra cash? Kijiji is wonderful. eBay, if that's your spice. You can donate it, recycle it, help the environment. Please recycle it if it's something that can be recycled. If it doesn't bring you joy, if you pick it up, you look at it and go, nope, or you have negative feelings attached to it, then it's got to go. Keep whatever brings you joy and happiness, and then make room for those new things in your life. So where to start? So you can either pick a room, pick an area of your house, pick an area of your life, again, or pick, a part of your goal. So going back to what are your goals? So this is something I work through with my clients very closely, is what are your goals and what's really cluttering your way to that goal that maybe you need to move in order to get there, and it hasn't worked for you in the past because you haven't moved it. So, pick a cupboard, pick a closet, pick a drawer, a dresser. You have a bookshelf or a desk that you kind of need to look at. The tool that I was talking to you earlier about, so your wallet, your bank account. So I use mint.ca, which is the Canadian version of mint.com. And what it is it takes all of your spending across all of your different accounts. So if you have a credit card, debit card, multiple credit cards, so it'll streamline everything so it can see where you're spending. It'll give you nice little pie graphs and everything else. It is safe and secure. So I found it was really helpful. It brought to light, hey, I spend a lot of money on Tim Hortons or Starbucks, to grab that coffee, where, I was able to find savings here and there. The other thing was like my gas bill, where I was spending a lot of money on gas, and they actually came up with an interesting app that I could then use to find, where's the lowest gas price in the city. And it saves a few bucks, it's a cumulative thing. So it's really kind of neat and helps you out that way. And it's free. Calendar. Again, take a look. Are you filling your days and your hours, helping other people find their joy, but not yours? And then again, those people's and emotions. This I find helps if you journal it out. Journal it out, or talk to a trusted friend that has your best interests in mind, and talk to them. Is this person really holding you back from experiencing joy and health in your life? So again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me again. I am so grateful and so thankful that you have chosen to come on this health journey with me. And I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.